I'll start the video.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobiski, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Okay, you can start.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday's workout session. I'm Sierra from Ocean Rehab and Fitness, for those who have not been around lately. Today, we're going to be working on some shoulder health and posture, a little bit of mobility. So we're going to get into that. For equipment, if you have a band, some kind of resistance band will work. I always provide some kind of option if you don't have that, as well as some weights or soup cans. But again, optional, we can just go through the movement if that feels better. But I definitely suggest some of those to get into this, as well as if you do have a dowel of some sort. There's only like, I think 1 or 2 exercises where we use this today. So not required, but definitely something to add a little variety into your day. So like I said, shoulder health and posture, super important. We're going to get into a warm up to start and then get right into all of this band and dumbbell work. So to start, we're going to get into the pec. And for some people I know some people have been using balls and stuff, so you can use a hard ball in the pec, or just using your hand or your palm just to get in some self-massage here. A lot of us sitting at a desk all day can get super tight in here, so getting a little bit of mobilization is super important. Good. And then we're going to go under the collarbone. Might be a little tender for some people. Nice. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the arm up and around to open up that chest. Good. And then we're going to switch into the other side, starting with our pec, massage. Good. You find a tender point, kind of focusing on that, maybe getting a little deeper. And then we're going to go into underneath the collarbone. Just putting pressure under there. Good. And then once that feels okay, we're going to open up the chest and get into some wide circles. Good. And we'll do one more. Good. Then we're going to go up in the top shoulder, up into these shoulder muscles here. So we're going to lean our head to the opposite side and then get into that muscle with our hand or ball. Usually the hand can get a little more in there. Good. Making sure that shoulder stays nice and relaxed. And then you're going to find a pressure point, bring your head up to neutral, and then you're going to just tip away, getting some length into that neck. Again, resetting, finding a point, and then tipping away. Good. One more. Find a point, put some pressure on it, and then tip away. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So again, the mobilization here. Good. Finding the tender point and then tipping away. And then coming to neutral. Resetting might be the same point or it could be a new point. Good. And we'll do one more. Nice. And then from here, we're going to go up and down with our head. Looking as far up and as far down, tucking that chin as we come down. So a lot of our shoulder issues are going to come from the neck, but also lower body or lower back. So it's super important to look at both sides. We're going to go left and right. And making sure that we're not super tight in other areas, which might be impacting those shoulders. Good. And then we're going to tip right ear into right shoulder and then switch. Keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed and down. Awesome. One more on each side. And we'll rest there. Okay, then we're going to go into some shoulder shrugs. So bringing the shoulders up to the ears, holding that, and then drop it down. And again, and down. Couple more here. Good, and then we're going to reach. So go left. Really stretching out that side. Then we're going to bring the arm in front and then rotate out to the other side, looking over that opposite shoulder. So we'll do that again, reaching to the other side. And we're going to bring the arm in front. And then we're going to rotate out towards the opposite side, looking over that shoulder. Good. Over into the next side. Dropping that arm in front. And rotating out, looking over that opposite side, trying to get a little bit of rotation. And then back to the center, to the other side. Good. One more here, dropping that shoulder. Rotating the spine, looking over that shoulder. Good. And then from here, we're going to do some cat-cows. So I usually put my hand on my lap. You can put it on a chair. And then you're just going to bring the chest forward. We're trying to create that opposite C shape here. We're going to look up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to push our hands on our lap so that we're getting everything pushed into the backrest to create that C again, tucking that chin in. And we're going to switch back to the other side, creating the opposite C. Then we're going to squish in the middle of that C and go back out. A couple different movements in the spine here. Good, one more on each. Good, then from here, we're gonna switch into a little bit of rotational in the spine. So we're gonna place one hand on our lap or on your chair. Left hand's gonna be down towards the ground, and then we're gonna open up the chest and rotate out. Yeah. And then back to center. I'll just do the side a couple times. Good, one more. Open up that chest. And then we'll switch sides. Opening that chest, making sure you're nice and stable. You can have your hand on the table in front of you, or maybe you're on your lap. And we'll do one more. And then we'll come to neutral. Then we're going to go into some hula hoops. So I place my hands on my hips and try and get some rotation. For some, it might be really small. For others, you might be able to get a big range. Good. And then we'll switch directions. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're gonna bring right arm up towards the ceiling, left arm back. Good, and then we'll switch. So then back and forth, just alternating. Good, now starting to get more into the shoulders. Now we're gonna bring both arms out in front and out to the side. Good, and then up into snow angels. And then we're gonna get a little more refined in that movement, bringing our elbows nice and tight into our sides, fingers open and spread. And then we're gonna go all the way up towards the ceiling and then squeeze those shoulder blades back as we bring those elbows down, bending them towards your sides, keeping those palms facing me the whole time. Good. And nice and slow on the down. We'll do one more. And we'll rest there. Okay. So next we're going to grab our bands. If you want to grab that now. And we're going to go into some band pull aparts to start. So nice and simple. Palms are going to face towards the ground, and we're going to pull that band out towards the sides. So the goal here is to keep our arms straight the entire time. If you can't, you might need to go and bring your hands out a little more so that there's some slack on the band. And then see if you can bring your fists together and then back out, keeping those arms straight as possible. Good, a couple more here. And again, if you don't have the band, you can simply just do this motion, still doing that motion of the shoulders, but now we're adding tension with the band. Good, and then we're gonna rest there. Next one we're gonna do is our scap squeezes. So this one's a little harder to see by demoing, but basically you're gonna have shoulders nice and neutral, and then we're gonna squeeze back, imagining like we have a blueberry between our shoulder blades, and then we're gonna relax. So squeezing back, sitting up tall, and then back. Good. We'll do 10 of those. Squeezing back and relax. Good, so oftentimes we're rolled forward, and this is gonna be the opposite motion. Really trying to reinforce that posture of back and down with the shoulder blades. Good, couple more. And last one. Good, and I'll rest there. Okay, next one we're gonna do is the row. So 2 different ways we can do this. You can have, let's start with our left hand forward with the band, and then we're gonna pull back like a bow and arrow for a row. Okay, so this is one way. We want to keep that elbow down and towards their side as we pull back. Okay, that's one way. Other ways, you can grab your band around an anchor point and go into a row like this. So 2 different options. Okay, but the key here is if you are holding the anchor point. When you pull back, you want to make sure that elbow is down and towards your side. And we're just pulling back kind of like a lawnmower. Okay, so a couple different options there. And also do a row with a dumbbell. Awesome, and then we're gonna switch sides. And making sure we squeeze that shoulder blade as we pull back. Remembering if we are holding it as an anchor, we're keeping that elbow down. Good, and we'll rest there. Okay, and then the next exercise is either chair dips, getting into our triceps, or dumbbells into our triceps as well. So 2 different variations. You can lean forward. If you have that dumbbell, bring it up to 90 degrees here, and then you're going to kick that arm back. Okay, one option. Or if you have a good sturdy chair that you want to use, you can just push up in that chair, whether it's on a wheelchair or just a living room chair, and push up, making sure our elbows are facing backwards and then coming up. So 2 different options. We're going to do 10 on each side. If you're doing dips with me right now, we are in 4. Good work. Making sure you switch with the kickbacks if you're using one arm at a time. Good, and then we're gonna rest. All right, okay, grab some water if you need, and then we're gonna go back to our band pull apart. So grabbing your band. Then we're gonna work through those 4 exercises again. Okay, so band pull aparts. Starting with our palms facing down towards the ground, and then pulling that band across our chest and coming across. Good. So remember, add some slack if you can't keep those arms straight, or if you need more resistance, keep those hands closer, depending on the resistance of that band. Good. Really trying to keep those shoulders down as we pull that band across, and we're stopping as soon as that band is straight across our chest. Good. Sitting up tall. Awesome. And last one here. Good. And then we're going to go into our scat squeezes. So squeezing those shoulder blades back and then relax. Sitting up nice and tall. Awesome. Couple more. And resting there. Okay, grabbing our bands again. This one I'm going to do more of just without the anchor point. So arms straight out in front. And then we're pulling that back. Nice. Now for some, you might have to bring the hand kind of on the lap if balance is an issue. Sometimes I get tired and also just need my hand on the lap. Otherwise, keeping that arm nice and straight and pulling straight back. Elbow nice and tight. Good, and then we're switching. So arm straight, shoulder blade down, bringing the other arm back. Awesome. And last one. Good. Okay, we're resting here. We're going to go into our chair dips. So chair dips or tricep kickback with your weight. Again, you could also do this with a band if you just have a band. This time I'm going to go into kickback. So we are making sure we're a little bit hinged forward and then kicking that arm straight back. Keeping that chest nice and level. Good, and then switching sides if you're following me, otherwise still doing your dips. Nice work. Awesome, and we're gonna rest there. Okay, grabbing some water if you need, grabbing your bands again. We're gonna go through that one more time before we switch into the next set of exercises. Hopefully everyone is following along. I didn't mention it, but I hope some of you are playing some music in the background. Music's a great motivator. Okay. Going into our band pull apart. Again, if you don't have a band, bringing those arms out and back is a great first step. Otherwise, grabbing our band. Palms are facing the ground. And pulling across. Adjusting that resistance based on your band and what you need here. Good. Remembering to breathe, keeping those shoulders so we don't have hiked up here. We want to stay nice and relaxed. Good. One more. And we're resting. Good. Okay, going into our scap squeezes. Squeezing those shoulder blades back and then resetting. Squeezing that blueberry. Very subtle movements here. A lot of people hate this one because it's just so simple. Good. Couple more. So simple, but so effective. Good. And last one. Nice. Okay, back into our rows. So remember, you can have this anchored, or we can do arms straight out and pulling back. Okay, so you can be up here. If you wanted to tie it to your chair, that also works. Good. If you really want a challenge, having it up here definitely is a stabilizer on the one side. Working on some balance. Good, making sure that arm goes straight back, shoulders down. and switching sides. So arms straight out, relax that shoulder and pull back. Good, and relax there. Last one of this set is our chair dip or our kickbacks. So I will demo the kickbacks again, but feel free to go into your chair dip if you like. So remember, getting a little bit of lean into this if you can. I am placing an arm on my lap, keeping my chest nice and level, and then kicking that arm back, keeping the arm at 90 degrees. Elbow nice and tight. We don't want the elbow here, we want it back here tight. Those doing dips, really making sure those elbows are facing nice and tight towards you. And switching sides. Otherwise, keep going with those dips. Good. And we're gonna rest there. Nicely done. Okay. Grab some water. We are gonna go into this one. You'll need your dumbbell. I'm gonna show a variation with the band, and then some sword pulls with the band and some dowel pushes. So we're gonna do a dumbbell pullover. So I'll show you with the dumbbell to start, and then I'll give you a couple different variations for the band. So I'm gonna kind of get set up against a wall so I don't tip backwards. Arm's gonna be straight out. Then we're gonna bring that dumbbell as far back as we can and then coming forwards, okay? So that's your first option. The other option is some people like to tie it either nice and low to some kind of post or down towards your chair. I can actually show you a little bit here. So kind of just down on that chair piece, and then you're gonna face that side, and then you can pull that band. I don't have a lot of core strength, but I'll show you with one. Pulling both arms up and over. And you could do one arm or two arms up and over, and trying to keep those arms straight. Okay, so two different options there. I feel like I get more out of the dumbbell, so I'm gonna grab the dumbbell. So getting into that, possibly also backing up somewhere with a wall. I'm sliding forward in my seat, but not necessary. Keeping those arms out in front, and then going over head. Nice. Yeah, you should be feeling really opening everything up in the lats. Good. Couple more here. And we'll relax. Good. Okay, into our sword pull. So sword pulls, we're gonna do one arm at a time. Tilt the screen back up. So starting, let's do left arm. Gonna stay down low. It can either be tied to your chair or just kept at your lap. And then you are going to pull the band out towards your side, but more now towards the head. So starting down low coming out towards the side. So adjust the resistance so that we can keep that arm pretty much straight the whole time. And we're kind of creating an X. So you want to come from that left side of that hip all the way over to the right side. And we're at about ear level. Nice. Good. Remembering shoulders down, breathing here, exhaling as we pull. And then we're going to switch sides. Awesome. Nicely done. Switching sides. Holding on to that band and coming forward. Remember, bringing it kind of center of our body and then going all the way out towards the side of your head, stopping at about ear level. We don't want to go too far back. And then coming back to center or all the way to the other end. Good. Shoulder blade stays down. The shoulder blade will be down and back as you pull across. Really trying to train those shoulder blades to stay out of your ears. Good. And last one. Good. Okay. From here, if you have a dowel, I'll show a band and dumbbell variation, but bringing the dowel to start, you're going to bring it towards your chest, squeeze those shoulder blades back, and we're going to press forward and then slowly come back. We're adding a little bit of speed, so quick coming away from you, slow coming back. Okay. So continue doing that if you're using the dowel. If you are using a band, you can bring the band behind you and same kind of thing. Adding a little power, slowly coming back towards us, keeping those elbows as level as you can as you come out. Okay. And then you can do that also with the dumbbell, holding one and then coming back. I always like to just finish with the dowel, really focusing on that form, keeping those hands nice and even together. I have a lot of shoulder instability on one side, so having both arms go together is beneficial in trying to train everything to work as one. Also a little bit of a challenge with the balance. Good. So really thinking about bringing belly button towards the spine as you push forward and then slowly coming back into that safe zone of balance. Good. Good. We'll do one more here. And then we'll rest. Good. Okay, going back to the top into our pullovers. If you do want to use the band, remember we're here and going up. Otherwise, grabbing your dumbbell, maybe some water on your way. Okay, so going into our dumbbell pullover, sliding forward if that feels good. If not, just keeping shoulders down. I'm holding both ends of a dumbbell, palms facing each other, and then I'm going up and over as far back as I can comfortably go, and then coming back to center. And when we come back, we're really thinking about as if we're squeezing an orange. That's our armpits. Good. Keeping everything nice and level with the shoulders. Trying to tuck that chin in. Coming up and over might be a bit of a challenge, so we're working to get that length. Hence why I've slid back in my chair a little bit, give me a little more core stability. Good, couple more. And once we start getting this motion, it's really trying to slow it down. It becomes a lot more challenging to try and slowly lower those arms back. Nice. Okay. We are switching into our sword pulls. Good work, everyone. I don't know about you, but my shoulders are definitely burning. Okay. Going into our sword pulls. So let's start pulling to the left this time. Right hand holding onto the band at our lap level or at our hip level. And we're pulling across. And that palm should be, both palms are facing each other. And then we're pulling out. So keep that shoulder down. We don't want to be up here. Relaxing down and pulling to the ear. Two more. And 10. Good. Okay, switching sides. So anchoring at the left side, whether it's kind of on the side or on your lap, and then pulling out to the right. Good work. Keeping those shoulders down. Checking resistance. You should be able to keep those arms straight the whole time. And last one. Nice. And we'll relax there. Okay. Getting rid of that, grabbing our dowel. If we're using that, if you're using the band, putting the band behind our back. Or using those dumbbells. So bringing that dowel nicely close towards our chest. And then as we push out, adding a little bit of power and slowly bringing those elbows back in, squeezing those shoulder blades back and forwards. Good. Really slowing down, coming back. Squeezing those shoulder blades back, really thinking about pulling that dumbbell apart if you're holding the dumbbell or the dowel here. Good. Good. A couple more. And we're going to go into some stretching because half of posture is tight muscles. And last one. Good. And we'll relax there. Okay. So getting rid of those, we're going to go into some stretching. Because we don't do enough stretching, all of us. So what we're going to do first to start is we're going to start from our neck and then work our way down a bit. So we're going to tuck that chin in and we're going to bring the nose to the right armpit, relaxing that left side. You can take the left arm to go out towards the side, or you can even tuck it behind you if that feels good. So really trying to get that nose to that armpit. Breathing into it and exhaling down towards the spine. Slowly releasing that, coming back to center, tucking that chin in, and going to the left, relaxing the right side. If you want, you can bring that arm behind you. Remembering we're holding these stretches for about minimum of 30 seconds. Which sometimes is challenging for people, so I always tell people to put a timer on. Hold yourself to those 30 seconds. Next time, we're going to tuck the chin in again, but we're going to bring right ear to right shoulder this time. Relaxing that other side. Good. Coming back to neutral, tucking that chin in and switching sides. And coming back to neutral. Next one we're going to do is get into the deltoid. So we're going to bring the arm across the body and use that other arm to pull it across. Goal here is to really try and get those shoulders down as you pull across. Good. And I'll switch sides. Checking to see maybe you have level shoulders here. My one always likes to hike up, so really trying to pull that down. Good. And then relaxing that. The next one is a bicep one. So you can interlace the fingers behind you or just grabbing your hands on your wrist, pulling down towards the ground. So kind of playing with that. Some people, they can really get arms out to the sides. That's a good start. And then working towards bringing your hands together and pulling down. Opening up that chest, lifting that head up a bit. Good. Couple more seconds. And slowly releasing that. Next one we're going to do is triceps. So a couple different ways you can do that. You can bring one arm overhead and pull that elbow towards your head. Some would prefer bringing elbows onto a table in front and then wheeling back and pushing those hips back and driving those elbows into a desk. So you can try either. Holding an implement like a band or a bell is also great. Remembering to breathe. You're doing one arm. We got about 10 more seconds. And switching sides if you're doing one arm at a time. And slowly releasing that. We're going to get into the pecs now. So if you have a wall or post that you can get to, I'll show you a variation of that. So I have a post here, or you can use a wall. So if you have a wall, you're going to bend at 90 degrees and then rotate away from that. I have the post, so I usually put my arm out straight and go rotate away, opening up that chest. If you have that, get set up into that. If you don't have that, another great option is just working on opening up the chest. So you would find a point in the pecs, bring the hand forward in front of you, and then open up that chest. So two different options here. And you would keep finding a point and opening it up. Whereas if you're stretching on a wall or a post, you're going to stay there for a couple more seconds. Good. Pecs are probably the tightest on a lot of us, so taking some time here to really stretch those out. If you're laying in bed, you can lay your arm over the side. Another great one. Good, and then let's switch sides. So for those who are set up on a wall or a post, do that now. Otherwise, finding a point, opening up that chest. Good, couple more here. And we're gonna release that. Next one we're gonna do is some spinal rotation. So we're gonna twist to the right. I'm taking my left hand to my right knee and twisting, looking over that shoulder. Another movement for those who are using any mobility device. We're not really rotating all day. Lifting that chest, looking over that shoulder, remembering to breathe nice and deep here. Slowly unwinding from that, taking our right hand, pressing against a knee or chair, letting that left come out to the side, looking over that left shoulder, lifting that chest, and taking some deep breaths here. Good, and slowly unwinding from that. We're going to do some wrists. So palms are facing me, arms nice and straight. We can pull those fingers back. Another great one is going against a wall. So if you're doing that like that, feel free to keep holding it. The other one I like to do is place both of my hands into the wall, lean into it, really try and get the whole entire hand flat against that wall. Spread those fingers. That one is another great option. Otherwise, you're just holding out in front. Good. And switching sides. And the wider you can get those fingers, even more of a stretch in the forearms. And slowly releasing that. So from here, we're going to tuck the chin in and roll down through the spine. You can either stay here on the lap, or you can go all the way down towards the ground. That feels good to you. And once you get to the lowest point that you feel is comfortable, I want you to take 3 big inhales, expanding those ribs, making sure that chin is tucked in, exhaling down towards the ground. Inhale, opening everything up. Exhale all the way to the ground. One more big inhale. Exhale all the way towards the ground. And you're going to slowly roll up. I'm going to lift that chest, arms out to the sides. You're going to look up towards the ceiling. Relax those shoulders. One more big inhale. And exhale, coming back to center. All right, good work, everyone. I hope you feel a little more energized, a little more stretched out. I am glad to see some of you popping in today. Thanks for joining me. If you have questions, I'll be here for a moment. Otherwise, thank you all for being here today. And I will see you next week. I believe next week's cardio. So be ready for cardio next week. And bye, everyone.
Okay, see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good day.